Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Linda and today we're going to tour our brand new kitchen. If you've been following me for a while, thank you, I appreciate it. You would have seen an older video about our teeny tiny little kitchen in our old apartment. If you haven't seen that one, definitely go check it out. It's super great information if you have a small kitchen and you're needing to make things work. But today we're going to tour my beautiful, massive kitchen. Okay, so it's not massive, but to me it's really, really big. We have so much more space and I'm excited to share it all with you. So before we dig into that, please take a minute, go down below, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot. And I absolutely love tracking it and seeing everything grow as you guys share on this adventure with us. So let's get into the kitchen. So when we started designing our kitchen, we went to the design center sometime in the summer. I only remember that because there was no snow on the ground and it was really warm outside. So it's really been fabricating this dream kitchen and then watching the process grow into what we have today. So the design center was a really fun adventure because we got to look at so many different colors, so many different options, and there were a few things that Jason and I really knew right from the beginning we wanted, and we wanted a kitchen that was going to be really bright and really clean. In terms of the choices that we went with, let's dig into that. So first thing starting off is this beautiful granite countertop on this massive 6-foot island. I now have more prep space than I even know what to do with. Some interesting upgrades that we actually made on this island was that we actually extended, I guess, the depth of the island an extra 3 inches. The idea behind that was that, first off, we wanted to be able to, push the chairs in further. If you consider what I guess it would have been like that much of the chairs sticking out, the chairs now go a lot further in. If we ever upgrade our chairs to something different, they may even sit closer. But we really want to close some of that gap. The other thing was that when you sit, we wanted to ensure tons of distance from knees. So to sit at it comfortably, not so much of a challenge for myself, but say when Jason sits at the counter, he's got a little bit more room for his knees to sit without bumping them. So for our countertops, we wanted something that was going to be super white. Our old countertops were very dark and speckly. You couldn't tell when the countertops were dirty. So having a white one, the countertops are dirty, you've got to clean them, and they look so clean and fresh. I was so grateful when we finally saw it for real installed in the kitchen because the quartz piece they give you is only about this big. So you don't know if that piece is going to be from over here or over here or over here, so you really don't have an idea of what the texture looks like. But I am more than impressed with how beautiful these turned out. The next design choice that we got to make was our light fixtures. So for the most part in our home, we went with basic pot lights. The original specs actually had 2 tracks in here. So we chose to upgrade by adding in pot lights instead. However, the kitchen island lights were something that I was very particular about. I wanted something clean, something elegant, and something gold. So the light fixtures that we went with, these 3 pendants, they are absolutely beautiful. They have a nice glass shape to them, and then we went ahead and put the Edison bulbs in them just to give a little bit more interest. So along with the countertops, we knew we wanted something that was going to be bright and fresh and really be classic, something that, years and years down the road was still going to be timeless and beautiful. So we chose to go with white cabinets all along the outside perimeter of the kitchen. And then we chose to go with the antique gold handles on all of our doors. For the kitchen island, however, we thought we would mix things up. We decided to go with a beautiful navy blue. I absolutely loved the complementary of the white, the blue, and the gold. I just think it's so beautiful. It's so timeless, so classic, and looks so clean while still being really fun. Another small upgrade that we put into our kitchen was we wanted to make sure that while one of us is maybe sleeping in the morning, the kitchen is quiet. So no more slamming doors. It was actually an upgrade that Jason insisted on, and I'm so glad that we went ahead with it because it's great. Absolutely love it. The other design choice that really wraps the entire kitchen together was our tile choice. So we chose to keep just a nice, clean, white subway tile that really just pulls it all together. We also chose to have the tile go all the way up around our big, beautiful window, and it's so nice that it goes right to the top. In speaking about the backsplash as well, another option we went with was to put all of our plugs going with the flow of the tile. While maybe looking up close, obviously it's a plug, but from a distance, it almost disappears into the backsplash because it just flows with it. You'll also notice that along the back walls and behind our coffee machine as well, we chose to put the plugs a lot closer to the cabinets to give even more of an illusion of them just disappearing into the background. Having such a big kitchen has allowed us to really create unique little spaces within it. And one thing that I really didn't want to give up that we had in the apartment was a designated coffee space. So having this little nook over here, kind of away from the regular prep space, we've been able to set up our beautiful Nespresso and then have everything relating to coffee above. As you will see, there will be so many empty shelves in this kitchen, and it makes me so happy. We also then have these really big cupboard drawers that fit so much stuff. So it gives us the option to have anything relating to like coffee or beverages or shakes. We have all of our protein powders. It's like our everything beverage station. So as we continue to flow around our kitchen, the next thing we come to is our dishwasher. Dishwashers are something that I never really fell in love with because I believe all dishwashers are kind of inadequate. But I think we got lucky with this one. For all of our appliances, we were actually able to upgrade the basic package to everything Samsung. We just got lucky. They were having a really great sale at the time. So it worked out. We got better appliances for the regular price, and that makes me happy. What I absolutely love about our dishwasher is that it really has a very clean look to it. As you'll see on the front, there are no visible buttons anywhere on the surface. So it's just all stainless steel. All of the buttons are nicely hidden up here. So you just make your options, press start, close it, and it's good to go. What I love about the inside, these are all clean dishes, is that this dishwasher has more room than I ever thought possible. The top shelf, while it is adjustable to come up or down based on your needs, when it's down, we can fit a shaker cup, we can fit an entire Ninja blender in here. It's amazing. And everything comes out clean. I don't have to double scrub anything anymore. Moving over to the dishwasher's best friend is the sink. Now, people have very different tastes in sinks. So as we were trying to decide what kind of sink we wanted, Jason actually did an Instagram poll to get an opinion on the full sink or the divided sink. There's also quarter sinks or third sinks. Anyway, We ended up choosing, based on the way that we wash dishes, to go with the massive bay sink. We went with a light color, really complements the countertops, and then put in the grill at the bottom just to help prevent any scraping or scratches or damages to the bottom. I think what I love the most about this sink is the fact that I can take a pot and a pan and a cutting board and lay them all flat in here and wash them, and they're not overhanging the edges or leaking everywhere. So for us, I think it was absolutely an amazing choice. The other really nice thing about having the rack on the bottom, besides just the fact that it prevents the sink from getting damaged, is that it actually also serves as a really nice drying rack. So whether it be that we are soaking vegetables and then leaving them on the grate to just air dry, or even putting cups or dishes to just sit in there nicely to dry, nothing's touching or hanging out on the bottom of the sink. And that's just a really cool feature of having the grate. Another thing that we upgraded in our kitchen, as you would know from the home tour, is that we put in this beautiful antique gold faucet. The faucets that came from the design center were just not gold. They were not very fancy, but to me, the faucet in a kitchen is kind of like the jewelry, so I really wanted a statement piece. So we ordered in this unit here. A few of the things that were important to us is that a lot of the sinks with the coiled top were limited on where they could move. So it was important to find one that was actually able to retract. So we love this one as a double feature, so you get a single spray or just the string. But this faucet also comes with the built-in filtered water line through here. So down the road, we will be installing an actual distiller in the basement. So we'll be able to have it run through here, so you can actually fill a glass or fill a pot right in the sink, as opposed to having to drill another hole in the countertop for a separate faucet. One of the greatest things that really helps make this kitchen as bright as it is this very hard to miss massive window. We have incredible light that just shines in here, really highlights all of the gold and makes this kitchen shine. We've officially placed the order to have blinds installed. So that's gonna go up in the next week or so that we can enjoy the view, but then also avoid having to wear sunglasses in the evening. As we move over to this corner here, which is about as much prep space, if not more, than I had in the old kitchen. So in the kitchen is where we chose to put our Google Hub Max. So we upgraded the kitchen one to be the bigger unit. And the nice thing about it is that we can pull up recipes on YouTube. We can watch Netflix on this thing while we're prepping meals, but it's also got a built-in camera. So while we're able to see the front door with the Nest doorbell, this camera will pick up any of the activity that's happening in our home. So not only is it going to alert us if someone comes into our home when we're not here, but I can also spy on Jason in the morning while he's making breakfast. I've done that, and he doesn't even know. Another upgrade that's coming to our kitchen very soon, we're hoping to get that done in the first 6 months, is we're going to be installing a pull-out style unit in this corner cabinet. When we designed the cabinet layout in here, we actually opted and rearranged these cabinets in order to install that special unit. Otherwise, these corners typically have those weird bifold doors that would pull out. So we planned this specifically for that install in the future. As we then come around to really the heart of the kitchen, where everything really comes together for a meal, I do want to point out that we chose to go with our cabinets all the way to the top. So not so much that the cabinets go all the way to the top, but we really wanted to close in the top half. But it also really brings your eye up and emphasizes the amazing 9-foot ceilings that we have in here. We looked at many different ovens, and the one that we chose is pretty unique. The first thing that you'll notice regarding our oven is that it does not have any backing to it. So we chose an oven that has all of its knobs here on the front along with the control panel. So the oven has a few unique features to it. The first one that I really love is that it actually has a feature to proof bread. So instead of having it sit out on the counter for a couple hours, I can just throw it in here and have it proof perfectly in half the time. The other cool thing about our oven is that it is hooked up with Samsung SmartThings. So essentially, Jason was able to connect his oven to his cell phone, and from there, we're actually able to set up the oven and get it all ready to preheat as soon as we get home. Here's our microwave. She's beautiful. She matches the rest of the appliances.
A microwave is pretty standard.
It's microwave. It's pretty standard. We'll go with that. A fun little customization that we also did ourselves after we moved in, we chose to use one of these slide-out drawers to be our spice cabinet. The fridge that we went with in our kitchen is another area that we were willing to splurge a little bit extra to get something that had the features that we absolutely needed to have. So just from the outside, you can see that it obviously has the water dispenser, ice dispenser built in right into it. I love that the ice is included right here so that it doesn't take up a lot of valuable freezer space. And the fridge is really big, so it doesn't take up a lot of space in the inside either. The fridge also has this super fun pull-out drawer in the middle. It's a really great place to put any of our favorite beverages or snacks that we go to all of the time. Having this drawer here is also really eco-friendly. It means that we don't have to open up the main fridge section when we want to grab a snack, which means that everything in here stays cooler longer and then the fridge doesn't have to work as hard. The other cool thing about this drawer is it can also be converted in terms of temperature. So let's say you have a big ice cream cake, you can actually convert this drawer to be a freezer so that you can lay the ice cream cake in here without having to completely rearrange your fridge or your freezer. The other cool thing about this flex zone is that it also has this adjustable piece in here. So you can actually slide it or move it to better fit whatever it is that you're putting in here. While a freezer, it really is just a freezer. We certainly have a lot more room, but what I also love is that the freezer is at the bottom. With our older fridge, I always found that I was always having to bend over to get the things out of the main fridge where we spent most of our time. So unlike all of the other doors in our kitchen that open like standard doors, we chose to upgrade every door in our island, except the middle one, because it's special. We converted all of the island doors to pull out. So not just the top ones, but each individual one. This gave us a space to easily access bigger items like pots and pans without having to go in and rearrange them all the time. This drawer here was another one that we set up specifically for an upgrade down the road. It is our plan that we're going to be putting in a garbage and recycle unit inside this drawer. So while it opens like a regular drawer, you'll notice that the handle is at the top because eventually it's just going to pull out like this to show the garbage and the recycling. And then as it relates along the line of electronics, just like we've really made a lot of the house smart, is that all of the lights in the kitchen have been converted over to smart plugs. The last area that I want to go through is the pantry. And this is where the sad story comes in. I had my sister come out because my sister is the most organized person that I know. She is someone whose pantry always looks perfect, everything is neatly put away, has its spot. And when we moved in, I really just threw everything into the pantry to get it out of the way. So I had my sister come out and she helped me reorganize my pantry. This is the unfortunate part, however, is that the second half, where we actually put everything back in neatly and organized, it just didn't record. at all. So check out this footage from when my sister came over and helped me get everything in order, and then I'll share the final result of how everything looks in the end and what we did to make it perfect. Today we're tackling the pantry, and I brought some expert advice with me. So here's Jen, my sister.
Hello!
Tell me a little bit about what it is that you intend to start doing.
Yes, I am currently obsessed with organizing and cleaning. I have OCD, so it really plays into it, which makes me just naturally very good at it and like the eye for it. So just organizing spaces, creating a more aesthetic space and also a more functional space. Specifically with the pantry, being able to see what you have so that you're not buying unnecessary things and wasting things, and then things get expired and you throw them away. So, good project, as you can see, for a first one.
So when we moved in only like a couple weeks ago, I essentially just took things out of boxes and shoved them in the pantry. And then over the last couple days, I kind of went through and like organized some things so that my brain wouldn't explode, but it's still a disaster in there. So I'm bringing in the big guns. Literally, if you've been lucky enough to have her in your house, you've probably had her leave with a clean pantry. So I'm grateful that she's here today to help me with this. While she typically organizes a pantry into like perfect containers and everything is, has its own vessel. What I intend to do is use what I have, because I believe in reusing containers that I already have in my home, not going out and buying or spending money on things that you don't need. So some of the biggest vessels that I have are plastic storage baskets, essentially. So we've got a few in a bigger size. And then I've got a few more identical ones in gray and white in a smaller size. And then varying other jars and buckets. So we're gonna make the most of those.
Yeah, it can definitely be very expensive to restart and decant everything. So this is definitely the more practical and budget-friendly way to do it, which still works perfectly and can still leave you with a way more beautiful, organized pantry.
All right, so let's take a look at what it looks like now. As you can see, it was literally all just thrown in there. I'm embarrassed, it's kind of a mess. And then I've got a few more appliances on the ground. We're going to determine which appliances need to go in here and which ones have room to go in other shelves based on how and when they're used. My intention also is that other than brooms, the vacuum, and this case of beer, which is pretty much empty, there isn't going to be anything on the ground to make for easy cleanup. All right, so step number one,
Take everything out.
we're going to take it all out. So now we are back to a fully empty pantry. This is also what my kitchen looks like right now. They say you need to make a mess before you can make things clean. Well, I didn't even realize there was this much stuff in here. All right, so everything is out of the pantry. And my island that I thought was really large now is just large and filled with everything. More than I realized was even in the pantry. So, what's the first step?
Step 1 is take everything that you don't want to put back into the pantry and put it away, make the space for the stuff that is going back. So go through and find a place for things.
All right, so anything that wasn't going in the pantry, I've now found a new home for. So we're gonna start on the rest of the appliances and the food.
Yeah, I would say put the appliances back in because they're taking up quite a lot of space, and then work on just the food.
Okay, so we're gonna do appliances next. In terms of appliances, I think I want food at like eye level. So that'd be the middle cupboards.
Yeah, appliances down at the bottom because they're heavy, and then you're not like lifting them out uncomfortably.
So heavy appliances at the bottom, small lighter appliances, and other things like beverage dispenser up top.
Miscellaneous.
Very miscellaneous. Okay, let's do that. So after my sister and I pulled everything out of the pantry and we figured out what was actually going to stay in here and what was going to find its home in the kitchen, we then took baskets and organized each basket with its specific contents. So all of the baking stuff went in one basket, all of the excess spices went in another, the oils, the vinegars, they also got bunched together, and then we left a space for snacks. So in the end, we ended up with a pantry that looks absolutely beautiful. So take a look at this. So thank you for joining me on an in-depth tour of our brand new kitchen. We are so in love with it and we are so excited to use it every single week for meal prep. I hope that you enjoyed at least a little snippet of when Jen came over to help me organize my pantry. And if you have any questions about the kitchen, where we put things, how we've got it organized and laid out, feel free to add that in the comments. I would certainly love to share. Please give this video a like, definitely subscribe. I would love to have you join me on the next one. I'll see you next time. Bye. You know where the treats are.